Gwayam Sitwin, Dr. Kathy Martin here, candidate for National Chief of the Assembly of First Nation. Today I'd like to talk to you about my priority in addressing an issue that affects us all as First Nations. The primary focus that needs to be addressed throughout our nations is systemic racism. The majority of issues we face as First Nation people are based on the systems developed to exclude and control us by external governments and organizations. And although some measures have been developed to mitigate the incidences of systemic racism experienced by our nations, the centuries of condescending attitudes towards our people exist at all levels of decision makers, service providers, and governing bodies who interact with us. The injustices of systemic racism are still evident in our quest to have equity in services of health, socioeconomics, and education, and remain blatantly obvious in Canadian judicial frontline officers and government organizations that oversee their regulations of resources. Education and legislation to call to action suggested solutions for addressing systemic racism need to have strong and practical implementation plans inclusive of meaningful input from our people. And although our traditional values foster patience and tolerance of others, we can no longer silently accept these practices of racism inflicted upon us. It is by asserting our traditional values of courage and humility, and by holding all Canadians accountable, those who exercise racism and those who silently witness racism, that we can begin to see true progress in the diminishing of systemic racism in this land. Walaliok.